These are my new scuba diving tank stickers. I had ones on them for about several years with the old label for the old channel, which is still out there, but I just haven't uploaded anything to it for quite a while. Incidentally, if you're wondering why I changed from the original channel, which is still linked, Endurance Swimmer Australia, to Ausim Pictures, that was a discussion I had with my partner at the time, when that previous channel was more a project for me, and this was more of a traveling channel. Well, not just traveling, but we felt it was a project we could both work on together, and it's kind of stuck. It kind of works with a lot of things I'm doing, but yeah, I hadn't been diving, as it were, and since before that change took place. So the tanks still have the old sticker on, and I'm getting them hydroed. I thought it'd be a good chance to put a new sticker on. Just as easy to put these also on the equipment box, and I may even put them on the boat. There's a white area. There's a white area where the old name used to be before the renaming, and I don't know, maybe they're a little bit small. Maybe I need to get a slightly bigger one if I'm going to put it there, but I think they'll look good. You just might have to be pretty close to see them. Right, so just make sure the surface is clean of dust. I've just removed the old sticker, by the way, and there's no residue at all. So they've been on there a few years, so it's pretty good. Off comes the new one, ready to go. And what I'm told, I'll move that a bit closer so you can see, is unless you apply a lot of pressure, they won't stick absolutely, they won't stick fast to the surface, which is handy if you're wrapping a car and you make a bit of a mistake. So, I never have, by the way. So that's about in the middle, don't you reckon? Whoop. About in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. They will wear with time, and that's why I've got quite a few here to replace them as I go. Keep them looking good. And then all we're going to do now is we're going to, once you're happy with where they are, is remove the bubbles. But this is a lot easier to remove bubbles than other stickers where you find it gets caught. I mean, try not to get them there, but it's easy enough to remove them. So once you've done that, then apply a bit of pressure. Alright. And there you go. That's how they look. Now let's move on to the tanks. Okay, so these are my two larger aluminium tanks. I think they're 11 litre or something, and both of those have gone through hydro test. And the old stickers are on the back and the front. The reason for that was I thought, well, I was using these as stage tanks, so they weren't actually strapped to a recreational BC. And I thought, oh well, might as well put them on both sides, but there's no real purpose whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned, if they're going to be used for recreational diving, putting them on the side where the valve points towards, because that is going to be on the back, and essentially they're going to be scuffed very quickly by the BC. So let's just take those off straight away on this side. One, and we'll do the same on this one. Again, no residue at all, pretty good. And what I'm thinking, if I return to the other side of the tank, is I may put them halfway down. And you're probably thinking, what does it matter? Well, it depends what kind of diving I'm doing. So first of all, recreational diving, I think the strap is actually going to go over that anyway. So the strap is pretty high at the moment with my weighting where I have it. I reckon I want the new stickers somewhere in the middle. The thing you've got to think about is if you're going to be doing that, have your own stickers on, is it going to obscure anything else? So if these are used for decompression, you're going to have nitrox stickers on and the like, and yeah, it could get in the way. So they're not going to be used for that for the moment. and I think it's a pretty, well, they may be used for up to 40%, but I know what's on that and I'll just write it on with a China graph. I reckon I'm going to put them in the middle. Let's take these off and then try and put them on reasonably neatly. Okay, so I'm not going to put too much thought into this. First of all, fill the sticker, whoop, bang, and get it into the right position. Try and work out roughly where the halfway mark is. Look, as I say, see that? If there's no pressure, they don't stick. What do you reckon? I think that's going to do. Not entirely straight, that's a bit better. That's pretty close, actually. Alright, that'll do. Always change them later on. So, there we go. Now these obviously are going to be used in the water, so what we want to do is make sure that these ones actually are applied pretty well, otherwise water will get underneath. Alright, I think that's pretty good. So the second one, all I'm going to do is put it next to it. That's how I'm going to measure. Nothing more complicated than that. I'm sure it's not going to be precise. Sometimes I do get very fussy about these things, but on this occasion, best guess. Back. What do you reckon? Pretty close? I think so. Yeah, well, I'm just going to see how well that worked. Filled off very easily. I'm going to put up a smidgen higher. Just a smidgen. That's better. Of course, these are white and these are yellow. I could have gone the extra mile and got yellow background, but most of the things these are going to go on have a white background. So my other tanks that I use for side mounting, they're obviously white. So, I mean, the two main options I was looking at was, you know, black against white or white against black. So we've gone black artwork against white, just like we did with the last ones. Okay, two tanks with a new badging on. What do you reckon? While I'm going about my relabeling today, I just thought I might get this tank out as well. I'm not going to relabel it because it still needs to be serviced. But I'm curious whether I've got any gas in it. I might use that before I go and get it serviced. Let's find out, shall we? Yeah, I do. I can use that. Anyway. So yeah, okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about on the other tanks. When I'm talking about be careful where you put your stickers, because if you're going to use these as deco tanks, you're going to need to be running some rich mixtures more than 40%, particularly if you're going pretty deep. So you can't breathe off them deep, but you do decompress. It helps wash out the inert gas, which for me is nitrogen, and for people doing extremely deep dives, it's nitrogen and helium. So when you get them O2 cleaned, you get additional stickers on. You might even see some resorts that people use a leaner mixture of nitrox, and they have a big green sticker on them. So that has to be on the tank. Probably wondering what the 21 is. Well, that's to tell, that's not so much for me, it's to tell my buddies, if I'm carrying this, that this is 21 mix, i.e. it's air. Air has approximately 21% oxygen in it. So if it has 50, and let's say you're at 50 meters, you wouldn't breathe off this because you will end up convulsing most likely. But this is more than okay to be used just like any other air tank while it's got that on. So if I'm going to use this deeper, I'm going to use it with a richer mixture, I will remove that. And in fact, I probably will remove it when I get these serviced. But essentially, the way this gets used is I haven't done this a while, but it's not really much to it. I stick the hose in these rubber bands here along the side. Hopefully my head's not getting in the way. And whoop, and open full back after turn. And basically, actually I may have done that on the wrong side, but never mind. I'm not going to bother doing it now, but imagine that's down there, outside this, and then that gets attached to me, and it depends what I'm wearing as to where I attach it. And then it's just a case of pulling it out, sticking it around my head, because it's got a hose long enough for that, and yeah, I can breathe on it. Or even, because it's got a pivot on it, I can give it to my buddy.